Alrighty. Oh, let me turn on the chroma key. My bads. Alright, so I want to talk about Swarm. Oh my god, that's terrible. It's terrible. Whatevs. I want to talk about Swarmhosts because there seem to be a few misconceptions about how they work and different like distances and stuff. Now, I heard some people on Reddit saying that the flight distance actually wasn't far enough for the locusts on most maps, so you wouldn't be able to, like, say, harass the main with flying locusts, and I simply don't agree with that. I also threw out the number 3 swarm hosts, so I'll be testing that as well. As you can see, they're obviously in range to even hit the mineral line just from here, and 99% of the time, the Protoss is going to have his army positioned about where my Zerglings are if he's on 3 base, as this base here is probably the best base you can take as a third. This one's like arguably good, but it's so open that I don't think that it would end up. I don't think it would end up being very good. Let's see here. I don't know, like, because this base only has one ramp that really connects to anywhere, whereas this one has two, and they're fairly wide. As well as the fact that, like, generally you want to position yourself between your natural and your third, rather than on your third, as Zergling run-bys will kind of wreck you then. Generally, you want to take this base against Terran, as Terran... Do I have a... Okay, there's my 6th one. Generally, Terran, you don't want to have your bases super spread out along the top side of the map, as that'll cause some pretty significant problems later in the game when you have to deal with drops. So, I have two sets of Swarmhosts here, and I'm essentially just going to be moving these around, explaining how certain things work. So first what we're going to do is we're just going to send these guys on an attack move over that way, and then run the Swarmhost back. Now, with 25 seconds, this is plenty of time to snipe 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 workers before even the stalkers that were in the main base were even able to catch my locusts. And these were from a position where the Protoss should not be and should not be scouting. Protoss do not have to deal with drops in this matchup, so 99% of the time they're not going to have an observer patrolling this area as they would with a Terran. Now we'll try a secondary position, slightly less likely to spawn him in this direction, but it's always good for a mix-up. Run the Swarmhost back. And then you can even micro these, since they fly a little bit slower in air, if I'm not mistaken. You can drop them a little early, and then go to town. Again, these units are already in his base, and I was able to snipe about 3 or 4 workers before they were able to get there. So it's not even unreasonable to think that that they would be able to harass with just 3. Now I'm going to move over to a different position. I'm going to try a few areas out. I haven't tested these in advance, but that's what this is for. So we're going to scoot here and then here. I'm not sure this is going to be in range to assault the third, but, I mean, again, we're just trying things out. Obviously, the 4th base is going to be extremely easy to hit with locusts. If we send those out there with the flying locust upgrade, and move these over here. Again, this is not an unreasonable spot to move your Swarmhost to. And they do, the locusts do in fact make it in time, and have about 5 or 6 seconds on them. That's more than enough time to kill a couple of probes at the very least. For free, essentially. From this position, again, not an entirely unreasonable position to move your Swarmhosts to. There's not going to be very much Protoss stuff there. And this position makes it as well. So you're able to assault both the third and the main base with Swarmhosts from multiple different positions in a way that that the Protoss maybe wouldn't be able to defend. Keep in mind the Protoss army will be where these Zerglings are most of the time unless he's moving out on the map or you just harassed him. We were able to pick off 6 or 7 probes on this base before the units that were even in the main could make it over here. It's pretty significant. It's pretty significant. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next map. Next we're going to be doing Echo. Alrighty, welcome back. Right now we're on Echo. And we have same setup as last time, bunch of lings where the Protoss army will be sitting. This is a very easy place to sit as Protoss, as you can destroy this collapsible rock tower, and your third's pretty much safe. You're just defending this area between your third and your natural. Now, the main base is a lot more tucked away than the last map, but it's still... The trade-off with this is that it's much easier to harass the other bases, the natural and the third bases. So I'm gonna split these off real quick. We're gonna try attacking the third first. So there's two good positions here that I can see so far. Is behind this this like destructible debris barrier. As the Protoss army, unless he has blink and like some vision on the high ground, he's not going to be able to catch these. And even if he does have that, there's a good chance, like with creep spread or whatever, you'll be able to get away pretty fast. Yeah, Swarmhosts are pretty speedy. So we'll just this is a good spot too. You can easily get your Swarmhost here because of this back ramp, and these have over half of their duration to do damage. And as we saw, walking from here to here with a Protoss army, even with blink, is going to take a little while. And you can snipe probes in 1 or 2 seconds. You can snipe 3 or 4 probes in 1 or 2 seconds. So even then, you're going to have an extremely good time with that. And from this position, again, only 3 Swarmhosts. Really, you could do 2 Swarmhost hit squads as well. I feel like that's reasonable as well. Little less than half their duration when they actually hit the base. Again, lots and lots of time for them to be doing damage to probes that are in that area. Because of the positions on this map, this also means it's very good for assaulting the natural base. So if you have 1 hit squad over here and 1 hit squad over here, he's going to lose one of the mineral lines. For sure. As long as he's not like a Masters player. Because Masters players generally pay slightly more attention. So again, we can send 1 wave over here, retreat our swarm hosts. Send 1 wave over here, retreat the swarm hosts. And these have like 75% of their duration when they hit this base. And even though his stalkers are right there, we can focus fire probes. We got 2 there for free essentially. We're killing zealots, we're killing a sentry here too. Like, this is all good damage. And he's forced to split up his forces, send him to each base, and hope he sent enough to deal with the Zerglings without, or to deal with the Swarmhosts without taking too much damage. So yeah, let's echo. I think you could also send him from here to his base, but I don't know. I feel like it's better to just use this area, as his forces generally aren't going to be there unless he's maybe taking a 4th base. But the better 4th base position for Protoss, I would argue, is right here, which you can assault from here, here, even really back here. Maybe, I would think that seems like it's in range. So yeah, it's very easy to attack multiple bases from multiple positions with Swarmhosts on this map. The next map is going to be Expedition Lost. See you there in a second. Alrighty, welcome back, and now we're on Expedition Lost. Expedition Lost is similar to Echo in the fact that this main base is pretty cut off from everything else. So you're going to be attacking the third base in the natural a lot more often than you're going to be attacking the main. And so the third base, actually both bases are pretty safe, honestly, but there's still 2 areas where you can easily slip in Swarmhosts. These Zerglings are going to show Protoss army. Protoss army should generally be right about here, as it's very easy to defend against like roaches and stuff with the tall grass, as roaches cannot see through the tall grass, but Colossus can, because they're counted as air units. So generally you're going to see the Protoss army right around here. Maybe a little bit more this way, but in my experience, Protoss army is generally right around here. This is a difficult third base to hold. It's got a nice ramp to it and stuff, but I feel like it's too easy to get picked apart with the back rocks, and this base naturally just defends against the back rocks and actually takes advantage of them. So here we see a standard Swarmhost position. If you just leave him here, This is honestly like a very safe position to use your Swarmhost at, because if you have this tower, which you should because towers are free with Zerglings, it's going to be a very safe bet moving into this base and attacking through there. And then you should just be able to run your Swarmhost out again. And then down here in the natural, you can do a similar thing at the potential 4th base of the Protoss player. 4th base is easily assaulted from this tall grass area, or even just at the tower, really. But as you can see, damage being dealt, Locust doing damage. If the Protoss army is over here and you attack the natural, it's going to take a little while for them to get over here, or photon overcharge or anything really. And if you're focus firing probes with like Shift A commands, you should get quite a lot of probes doing that. And if they're actively sitting on the 3rd base, which they pretty much should be, you can do like a little Zergling run by to draw their attention in this direction. And then as they start to move their army out, you can do cute little things like running the Swarmhost in, and then whatevs, man. But I want to talk about builds really quickly. There's this popular build that's been going around. It's like a I don't know, a lot of low-level players use it. It's like a Zergling into Muta build. So essentially, like, you hold the early game purely with Zerglings, and then you have like a ton of speedlings, and then you have a ton of gas banked up to make just a ton of Mutalisks. And while I don't think that build is very good, it accomplishes its goal. Okay, I don't think it's very good because the Muta follow-up is never that strong. But I think that the build itself has good concepts in it. And if you were to apply those same concepts to a Swarmhost build, it's completely not ridiculous to get, say, 800 gas, so you can get 8 to 900 gas, so that you can get the 8 Infestation Pit, the Flying Locust upgrade, and 6 Swarmhosts. And as long as you're retaining those Swarmhosts, which you should be able to, as long as you're playing very safe with them, then you're in a very good spot to do lots of damage and potentially win the game even. So I would recommend at the very least looking into that Zergling Muta build and trying to do as much as you can to learn that and apply it in a new style, because I think it's going to be very, very useful to use Swarmhost in the future for that sort of thing. The next map is going to be Vaani Research Station. I was debating on doing this map as it should be pretty obvious where you're able to do things and where not, but we're going to do it anyway, and yeah, I'll see you guys on the next map. Alrighty, welcome back to Vaani Research Station, or welcome to Vaani Research Station. So this is another map where the main is sort of tucked away, so we're gonna have to harass the natural and the main instead. Some pretty obvious spots, not a whole lot of spots here. As long as you control this side of the map with the gold bases on it, like this whole segment right here, which shouldn't be too hard with creep spread and with a lot of Zerglings running around and stuff. You can very easily assault the natural on this side just by lobbing a few over there. You could also do it from down here and probably get into the main or the natural. This is a little bit more of a risky position though, as the get over there. The Terran army, or the Protoss army, is generally going to be right around this region here. Pretty much where he's standing right now. Now he took this base as his natural, but generally we're going to take that as a third, Protoss players. And then again, very easy to assault the third. This tall grass is some nice protection. They're generally going to be sitting here, so you want to drag them out of position before you attack, that sort of thing. And here we just focus fire the probes, whatevs, man. And it turns pretty standard. It's just a lot of the same harass stuff that Terran uses. Now, I wanna point something out too. Check out my creep spread when I started this video. Also, look at the timestamps. The first time I did, like the first map I did, it took me about 20 minutes to get up those Swarmhosts. Now, I'm at 13 minutes here, and we've already done all the examples. Now, the point I'm trying to make here is that I don't play Zerg, yet I'm still able to adapt to my build to get the maximum amount of gas possible in the shortest amount of time, so that I can assault the Protoss and not have to spend 30 minutes every game trying to set up the game so that I can show my examples. Every single one of you is a competent StarCraft 2 player, and even if you aren't, there's still room to adapt and improve at the game. There's always going to be a time where you can improve your play or change the way you play so that you can play better, more efficiently, stuff like that. My creep spread is all the way out here because I found out that I was actually able to cut off my queens injecting and get more creep spread instead. I found out that I don't really need a third base to get all the gas that I need, so I cut that pretty much entirely out of the build. Like, obviously this isn't a real-world scenario, but it's the same concept where every single one of you is capable of adapting your build and changing it in a way that will incorporate something that will help you out later in the game, or even just with a completely different strategy. This is a strategy game, mind you, so you will have to adapt at some point. Wishing and hoping for Swarmhost to come back probably isn't going to happen, especially with Legacy of the Void on the horizon. So it's worth it to learn to adapt, learn how to adapt to what works, what doesn't, how to experiment with it. It's very much so worth it to do that sort of thing, so that you stay ahead of the curve on how to, I don't know, just adapting and getting better, because it'll help in a big way in getting better. The next map is Cactus Valley. I always call it Cactus Canyon for whatever reason, but I will see you guys there. Oh god, not the achievements. I don't care about the achievements. Alright, welcome back. And now we are on Cactus Canyon, Cactus Valley, Cactus Arena. I'm actually going to throw on another set of Swarmhosts here because I'm going to be testing a lot of different areas on this map. This is a 4-player map, and you can spawn any position if I'm not mistaken. So we're going to have one over here, and then one group over here, and then we'll just have one group at the top base whenever that spawns. And now we wait for them to walk. Alright, so now that my Swarmhosts are in position, we're going to do the cross spawns first. Cross spawns are going to be a little bit difficult. I'm pretty sure in cross spawns... Oh, this is difficult. Cross spawns, you're probably going to want to be taking this base. This base is probably best for cross spawns, and then this is a 4th. So, with this area of the map being pretty much devoid of Protoss units, you can scoot on into the natural base with a couple of locusts. Keep in mind that I've been using groups of 3, but you could also use groups of 2 and be almost as effective, I would think. Lots of damage, blah blah blah. You can assault the 3rd from here, this like high ground position. You could probably do it from over here. Keep in mind that the Protoss army is probably going to be sitting right around this region, maybe a little bit lower, but right around here. It's going to be a little bit difficult to get to like slip stuff in cross spawns. It's probably only going to be about this position into the natural, and probably one of these positions into the 3rd. But keep in mind that you are able to use like Zerglings and stuff as bait to draw the Protoss player away, so you can do multi-prong stuff like that. In vertical spawns, the Protoss player is always going to be expanding away from the Zerg, so this is going to be the 3rd base. This means that you have free reign to scoot up into the main. Protoss army is going to be right here, as I said before. They're always going to be right about there. But you can toss your Locust up into the main, not let them drop until they get to the mineral line, and then they still have about half of their life left, so that's plenty of time. And if you're also doing something at the 3rd, you're probably going to be wanting to use maybe this position and throw them down there. This position would be really good. Throw them down there. Over here even would be not bad. just anything so that you can get some distraction, get some stuff in here. The base you aren't going to be able to attack very well is the natural. It's arguable that you could take a wave of locusts, send them this way, and then like maybe split off like half of them to go into the main, and take the other half and go into the natural. But I don't know. With the Protoss army sitting right here, I guess this would provide an ample distraction for these to get stuff done. But who knows, man? Who knows? Like I said, in horizontal positions, the Protoss is always going to be expanding away from the Zerg, so this is going to be the third base of choice, and it's going to be very similar to vertical positions, where to attack the third base, you're going to be wanting to use this like high ground cliff over here, or this area down here. I don't know. We'll display that real quick. And then to attack the natural base, you're going to be wanting to use this like fourth base position down here. And then yeah, it's very similar to vertical spawns in that sense. But there's definitely two angles you can attack, two areas you can attack. You could even float these past a little and attack the probes from the high ground. I'm pretty sure their attack range is more than enough for that. One thing I want to see though, 1.88. Okay, so they travel the same speed both on air and ground, so there's no advantage to landing them early. So that's gonna do it for this map. The next map and last map is Iron Fortress, because there are no other maps in the map pool. If there were, they'd probably be terrible, and suchly they don't exist. So we're doing Iron Fortress next, and I will see you guys there. Alrighty, hello and welcome back. Right now we're on Iron Fortress. Our opponent has spawned vertical positions, but like I said before, we're gonna do all positions. So we'll do cross positions first, just to make sure everything works okay. So this is the third base that the Protoss are gonna be taking regardless. It's the same on all of the other bases. They're going to be taking... Where is it? Oh god. It's this one on this base, this one on this base, and this one on this base. Now, assaulting the third is pretty easy. I think you can assault the main, and then assaulting the natural is also possible. So this is probably going to be one of the best maps for Swarmhosts. I'll just split these puppies up right now. So you can easily hit the third with this hit squad right here, because the Protoss army is generally going to be right about here to defend any sort of junk. They might be a little bit closer this way, but it's easy to use Swarmhost to hit the third base. To hit the natural, you just want to scoot this way, and it's exactly the same as like any other. It's really easy to get to this part of the map. They're generally like, because you can scoot down this way through this space here and up into here. He's generally not going to be scouting this area of the map. And then I'm pretty sure to assault the main, it's like the same as down here, only a lot more risky. If he has his third base here, you're going to have to be very careful when you do this, but it is possible. If you scoot around this way and then down here without getting spotted, you can send some locusts into the main. Now I'm not sure how much time they have on them once they get there, but you can pick off pylons on the exterior at the very least, which is super annoying because supply blocks are already a problem for a lot of Protoss players in the lower leagues. You can't play the game like your opponent's gonna play perfect, because he won't. And look at that, already like 5, 6, 7 drone kill or SCV probe kills there. Just from that little duration they were there. And there's no way the Protoss is going to be holding his whole army there, or even enough units to be able to stop that before it does damage. So that's for cross positions. It's actually just going to be the same for all of the other positions, except it'd be down here and over here for this base down here, and then this like area right here. Then for my spawn position, it'd be here, here, and here. And for the top position, it would be here, yeah, here, and here. So again, multiple angles. This is probably going to be the best map for Swarmhost because it's so wide open. It gives your Swarmhost a lot of space to scoot around and do lots of cool stuff. And you can attack all 3 bases, and then once he takes a 4th, that's going to be really open as well. Because of this base here and just like all of these good positions across the map. So that's gonna do it for this this video thing. It's gonna I have to edit it together, all that sort of good stuffs. But thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope to see lots of really cool Swarmhost play in the future. I like the changes that were made to them. I feel like it's going to provide a lot more opportunity for cool stuffs to happen, and I hope people give it a chance instead of just discounting it as like the worst stuff in the game, because I really don't think it is. I think there's a lot less viable things you can do than get 3 Swarmhosts. Especially considering, like, if he goes Blink and you're going like a Roach build or something like that, you're probably going to want Infestors anyway so that you can lock down the Stalkers. I feel like Fungal's really underrated right now in the current meta. But either way, thank you so much for tuning in, and please, God, everyone, experiment, do fun stuff, play unranked if you have to. Just do lots and lots of cool stuff with Swarmhost, because I don't think they're as bad as everybody's saying they are. They have plenty of opportunity to harass.